Hello, my name is Paulette Watson, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Internet of Things. What is the Internet of Things? What's the IoT? Literally, it's all about collecting objects to the network, enabling them to collect and share data. So, when we think of IoT, the Internet of Things, you could think of things like light bulbs, cameras, a thermostat, cars, washing machine, and many other things that can be embedded with software sensors where it can collect and exchange data. Think about when you're at home, what kind of devices could connect to the Internet of Things? You can even control the heating using app or turn on the lights remotely. You can even set a time to water the garden while you're on holiday. How cool is that? When we think about London City and the Internet of Things, this can generate real-time information with sensors in the road to monitor the flow of traffic and even create a public app showing available parking spots. In the past though, IoT, there were problems associated with this, simply because there was no real standards that allowed all devices to communicate with each other. So now we have the big tech like Amazon, Google, Apple, who have been rushing to develop a IoT platform, but there's no real guarantee that they will play nicely with each other in the near future. So let's see how these platforms plan out and see how they can work collectively together. However, though, there is a big focus on security, being able to make sure that your information is secure online. So manufacturers must really make sure that their products cannot be hacked if they want people to connect with their devices on the internet. So when I talk about manufacturers, say for example, you have a washing machine and that's connected to the IoT. So the manufacturers will be Hotpoint, yeah. If you have a Hoover, the manufacturer, say for example, say Dyson. So they have to ensure that the information that they collect via the Internet of Things platform, that data is secure when it goes onto their server. So the Internet of Things does so much things. And currently I'm doing an experiment in Ghana with the Internet of Things, and we are using sensors, analog, and Arduino and Raspberry Pi for our fish farm in Ghana. So I'm going to take you on a journey and just explain to you how we're using the Internet of Things. But please remember, this is just one area. Internet of Things covers a multitude of areas, and it's developing quickly. So I just want to whet your appetite so you can see the advantages and the different ways what we can use the Internet of Things. So IoT is it's fast growing. The technology is blowing up, and literally it's extended its wings in different areas, like I said. With the progressions in computers like Arduino, Raspberry Pi, the innovation of this tech is basically achieving the grand levels in terms of with its application in farming and aquaculture. I will outline and actualize the monitoring of water quality of aquaculture utilizing Raspberry Pi, the Arduino, and various sensors, smartphone, cameras, and the Android application. The water quality parameters used in this case study are temperature, pH, electrical conductivity, and color. Sensor acquisition is conducted by the Arduino and Raspberry Pi with the help of smartphone cameras to detect the color of the water. The Android phone, I'm just picking up mine, is used as the terminal device, which is really, really cool. A user can monitor the water condition using an Android app through the Wi-Fi within a Wi-Fi range and through the internet from anywhere in the world. So basically, ubiquitously, they can access this information anytime, anywhere, and any place. Some analysis is performed with the four parameters value to determine the overall approximate condition of the water, and this will require action. So every feature in this checking gadget can work legitimately and easily. Before we delve in, this is the beauty of the Internet of Things technology, is that the technology is there to solve a problem. Yeah, so we're looking in the area of aquaculture, and this is a thriving area in many countries in the world. simply because the demand of fish is high, and fish prepared is expanding every single day. So with some data and some figures, for example, according to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, which is UNFAO, 2012, they stated that the world of fisheries and aquaculture worldwide yearly production of fishery items add up to 128 tons. That's a lot. The animal protein intake per individual is about 15%, and this increases the human reliance on fishery resources. Aquaculture comprises of the set of exercises, information and techniques for the rearing of aquatic animal groups. So this activity has an awesome significance in financial improvement and food production. Commercial aquaculture is confronting numerous issues because of sudden climatic vacillation leading to changes in water qualities. So with the Internet of Things, it gives you the opportunity to understand the problem. So for our case study, the problem that we're faced with right now in Ghana is that aqua farmers are relying upon manual testing for knowing the conditions of the various parameters of the waters. Remember what I said about the parameters earlier? But this manual testing is time consuming and also give inappropriate results, as the parameters for measuring water quality changes continuously. This is not good. However, the Internet of Things provides a solution. Yeah, we're thinking that it would be better if automatic monitoring can be done somehow. So modern technology should be brought to aquaculture to overcome this problem. So for rural development, technologies have to support several key application areas. So for example, the living quality of our fishes, the well-being, the environment change, etc., etc. So we can be more selective in choosing the appropriate technologies for this kind of advancement. And for us, we're using the Internet of Things. So having an integrated chip computer, which is a Raspberry Pi, is used in our system as a data processing and storing device, which has an inbuilt Wi-Fi module. Using the data plasticity service, we can also access the Raspberry Pi through the internet. So no additional Wi-Fi or internet module is required. Smartphones are very obtainable, and most of the smartphones have a media transfer protocol. Using these and performing some analysis on the water quality parameters make our work unique. So this is the hardware and software that's required. So a sensor, analog pH sensor for the Arduino, used to measure the pH of water, in this case for Ghana, our case study, Ghana Fish Farm case study. So we need the pH. The analog EC, electrical conductivity meter for the Arduino. This is used to measure the electrical conductivity. Then we have the waterproof Arduino temperature sensor. This sensor literally is used where it has just one pin data communication for multiple sensors at once. So one library for Arduino is used to measure temperature with this sensor. And this is really good for our fish farm, because we're able to understand what's happening with the water temperature. The Arduino, the sensor we use in this case study are specifically designed for the Arduino board. We use Arduino for sensor acquisition. Our Arduino version is the Arduino Uno, and this is a microcontroller board which is based on the 80 Mega 328P. Now, for us, the central processing unit that we're using is the Raspberry Pi. This is the heart of the system. So the Raspberry Pi 3 is small, low-cost computer board using Noobs, a Debian version of the Linux operating system. If you don't know what these terminology is, it's fine. You know, as you play around with the Internet of Things and start to investigate it, you will just understand it fully, totally. So the Raspberry Pi has a higher speed and number of processors core than the previous version of Raspberry Pi. So if you've used Raspberry Pi in previous lessons, the Raspberry Pi 3 is tops. It has already inbuilt Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Raspberry Pi can conduct serial data communication with the Arduino, as it is a small computer. And this is really, really cool for our case study. You know what an Android smartphone is. We use that with the MTP. I hope you remember what the MTP stands for. So any Android smartphone with a media transfer protocol, MTP, can be used in this purpose. The MTP permits a media files to be exchanged automatically to and from a portable devices. The next thing is the data plasticity service. So if the data plasticity agent is installed on our device, which is the Raspberry Pi, it will sharply set up and keep up a secure HTTPS association with the data plasticity of the IoT router. We can access our Raspberry Pi covered by the data plasticity anywhere, as it has a wide and viable internet connection. So if you check out the diagram, you will see what's happening here. So what we'll be using, I mentioned the hardware. I've already explained the hardware. So the software will be using Python programming language. We will need the Python imaging library, various Linux commands, HTML, CSS, PHP, MySQL database, Android apps, etc. are also utilized in this whole process. So working process between a Raspberry Pi and the data plasticity. The system architect, which is the next thing, will describe the architect of our proposed monitoring system. So this is what the architect will look like. So you have the aquaculture, the Arduino, the Raspberry Pi, and the smartphone. And that will show you literally how we intend to execute our projects. So the Internet of Things, like I said, is literally what I want you to think about is all about connecting objects to the network, enabling them to collect data. And why is it that just explaining the case study and explaining to you how it is used in the different areas, so you can get involved, so that you can think outside the box. Yeah, when you're at home, think about your home. Is it a smart home? How can your devices that you have at home, how can they be connected to the Internet of Things? What type of information do you think that particular manufacturer? Think about the name brand on your iron, or on your kettle, or on the fridge, or on your washing machine. Try and think about what data are they collecting from us, or the people in your home. Could be, if you're washing the clothes, the washing machine might be one that gives information of what type of clothes you're putting in the washing machine, how heavy are the clothes, how long is the wash for, what time of day, and what that information, they will collect that data, and that data will go up to that manufacturer's server, and they will be able to analyze using big data, the information to analyze, to find out, right, the type of customers you are, and then they will create better products, better washing machines, better fridges. Even with the fridge, the Internet of Things fridge, I think is outstanding. But what's really good is that you can have, the fridge will be able to not only inform you on your device, on your smartphone, but it would also give the manufacturer's information on, what type of food you eat, yeah, how long is your food in the fridge for, okay, how often you go shopping, and they will use that information to develop their products, their fridge, even better, making sure that your food will last longer. Even, for example, the information that you gathered from the information from your smart fridge is that you'll be able to detect when the food is low in your fridge and that you may need to top up. So, it may even also tell you that, for example, you may need to get more fruits, you may need to get more milk, and then that information can connect to one of the top supermarkets. And, so instead of you having to do that transaction, it can go straight to this supermarket, and they will say, okay, cool, we know that you need this, and they will send you information, and it could be delivered to your home. So we can use customers' information data to be able to make more products and to target individuals. So it's really important for us to consider jobs and careers in the Internet of Things, because it's exciting. There's so much things that you really can do, and you can, explore so many different avenues. And the good thing about the Internet of Things is that it's it's growing, and there are so much potential especially in places like the African continent. The fact that they use a lot of them have a mobile phone. There's so many stuff that you can create leveraging the Internet of Things, and you can jump on. Like I said, I've mentioned before, we're doing the case study of the fish farm, and we found out so many solutions and understanding why we are so passionate about food scarcity, and how that's going to impact within the next 10 to 15 or even 20 years. So using the Internet of Things, we know we could solving this problem. And also a keyword for you guys to do some research is frugal innovation. And basically using frugal innovation and the Internet of Things, we can ensure that at a low cost, we can produce so much more. And the Internet of Things allow us to do that in connection with the big data as well. So I really hope you enjoyed this session, and the takeaways from this is really try to get into this new and emerging technology, jump on board, find out what you can, and get involved, because it's such an exciting time.